With the Carolina Panthers less than a month away from kicking off training camp and the 2025 season, it's also a time for the players to search and seek who the player captains will be. But despite all that, there will be players that don't have that C on their chest that will be the unsung and the most underrated part of the 2025 Panthers' success. Want to find out who those players are and how important they'll be to the 2025 success of leaving our marks? Stay tuned to find out on Growlin' and Prowlin'. Welcome back, Growlers. Thank you all so much for joining us yet again on another edition of Growlin' and Prowlin'. Of course, you're prowling with the one and only Mr. CeeLo here, and I hope you guys are doing great. I missed out on you guys for Father's Day. Missed out on the first day of, official day of summer. And I just want to give my pop a big old growl out for Father's Day. And I want to give a growl out to all of you guys out there as well for the Father's Day. Even though we're coming into July. And I also, if I don't get a chance to talk to you, I want to go ahead and give you a growl out for all of our vets and all of those that have served on the 4th of July. And also to all of you and your families as y'all have a safe and happy 4th of July. But let's get right on into it, as I've had several more of you guys join the show, join the Growlin' and Prowlin' family, and you guys are not making yourselves known. You got to do that, people. I can't encourage that enough, because I'm putting the final touches on my shirt, and I will be ready to give that bad boy away in a couple of weeks, hopefully before the season starts. But I've got to get to your comments. As Michael said, every man that can get the rock needs to find the open grass to go for after yards. The goal line never picks up and moves. Hey, to each his own, my friend. I totally agree. We've got a lot of guys that can move the ball. So, yeah, the point that you're making is absolutely. We've got to find ways to get these guys the ball. And definitely, he's actually commenting on the last show that I put up that was featuring Ricky Dowdle and, of course, Chuba Hubbard, us featuring the run game. Please, guys, go by and check that out. Not many of you have checked it out. I know you guys are on summer vacation, but check it out and see why I am afraid that we may get caught up in Teteroa, McMillan, and the new guys and the new toys that Bryce Young will have, instead of just sticking to the running game, and why I believe we have to stick with the running game. BEG Gas UWP said, I doubt Jimmy Horn will get much with so much depth we have at wide receiver. My apologies for not knowing your name. You guys have some neat nicknames. Yeah, he said, I doubt Jimmy Horn will get much with so much depth. Look, I got to disagree with you. I don't think this football team is going to be one of those where they're not going to utilize as much talent as they can. I think Dave Canellis is one of those guys that, yeah, he's not going to touch the ball 300 times in the season. We already know that. But Jimmy Horn's going to touch the ball at least anywhere from 50 to 100 times this season. Dave Canellis is going to find creative ways to get this guy the football. They're not just talking about this guy. They're not going to pull the whole Frank Wright ideal where they're just talking. I truly believe that this coaching staff is truly going to find something to do with Jimmy Horn besides special teams. But without further ado, let's get into the program, shall we? And whom are going to be the most underrated Carolina Panthers? Well, let us look at the article that inspired this, shall we? Now, as many of you know, I am a guy that really loves reading other articles and content from other content creators as well as other writers. And the one that I passed over just happened to be who are going to be the most underrated defense and offensive players. Now, I'm looking at Panthers Wire. And once again on offense, everybody is referring to, well, not everybody, but Jared Feinberg, a guy whom I agree with off and on. Much like last season, you're looking at Jalen Coker, whom you guys heard me say on a show that I felt like Jalen Coker was once again being overlooked. I think he's going to be a huge under-the-table type piece. I think a lot like Jimmy Horn. I think Jimmy Horn is actually going to be a guy that coaching staffs are going to be afraid of because of his quickness. But then you got Jalen Coker, who just kind of noses along, does his job, makes big plays when his name is called. And, you got the big guns in T-Mac and XL, Thielen, Jatavian Sanders, as well as Tommy Tremble. You got these guys out there, and it's like, okay, then there's Coker out of Holy Cross. Believe it or not, he is not going to be one of my underrated offensive players. Believe it or not, it is a toss-up between, it's going to be a toss-up between Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders. And let me tell you why. Most of you guys don't realize on that touchdown that Chuba Hubbard had against the Arizona Cardinals, both Tommy Tremble and Jatavian Sanders sealed that corner, which allowed Chuba to be in an Oklahoma drill with a safety in a corner. So when we talk about the pass catching ability of Jatavian Sanders as well as the hybrid ability of Tommy Tremble, you've got to throw in the fact that if Dave Canellis can get both of these guys on the field along with Mitchell Evans, who is a supreme blocker and a very good finder of the holes. So I'm actually going with three guys that are going to be underrated. This whole tight end room is going to me be so crucial to the success of the Carolina Panthers. So many people want to talk about Tetairoa McMillan as well as Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, Horn, Jalen Coker. It's all going to be based on these three guys because they want to run the football. I believe Dave Canellis is going to try. If you guys watched my last show, I think Canellis is going to try to get the amount of run attempts up around 500 this season. Bruh. Especially when you talk about how good Chuba was last year and he really didn't start slowing down, despite the fact that he had an undisclosed injury that he was dealing with for probably about a last couple of games, which is why they chose to shut him down and heal up. And now you bring in Ricky Dowdle, who undoubtedly is a 1,000-yard rusher, and he showed our defense why he was capable of that. But the most underrated guy on this team is going to be our tight end room. And a lot of people are going to say, well, it's not one player. Well, all of these guys are going to be exemplified blockers and pass catchers. Sanders looks like he's going to be the better of the pass catchers. Possibly Mitchell Evans running in there if Dave Canellis can utilize him correctly, because he is a gifted athlete when it comes to catching the football and finding the gaps in the defense. Tommy Tremble is not getting enough credit for how good he is. He's a very athletic tight end, and he's very, very willing blocker. And he's shown he has hands. And I think he's finally getting the opportunity that has been thwarted him his whole career. Dave Canellis understands how to utilize him, and he's doing it. And I think a lot of people have listened to what I've been saying, and a lot of what a player is capable of doing rests on whether the coach can get the most out of him.
Is that your best? That was pathetic.
That's it. A lot of it's coaching. Defensively, I think where Panthers Wire went on this one. I'm absolutely almost in 100% agreement, other than the fact that I think it is going to be our pass rushers. Because let's look here. Panthers Wire is not. Jared Feinberg once again said that he thinks Brown, the free agent that we signed, Brown is going to be the big deal. And it's not hard to argue that. He's a 6'4", 332-pound wrecking ball that is going to be playing in the middle of this defense, this Ichiro Avero defense that has not seen a guy like him since Ichiro Avero's been here. Then you put him beside Brown, who is probably the best run stop and tackle in our game. And his statistics from 2023 proved it all. When he broke the NFL record for total tackles for a tackle.
Damn you!
In league history. And then you pair him with a guy like Brown. And then he has the ability to do the one thing that the Carolina Panthers have not had here for a long time. Derek Brown's been a great pusher of the pocket. But now you get a guy in Bobby Brown, the Brown boys, and then you add Travell Wharton. His pocket's going to get pushed. But I say these two guys are overlooked. And the guys I'm referring to are going to be DJ Wanham, Pat Jones, Nick Scorton, Prince Umanyamilin. Now, out of those four, the one I'm expecting the most out of is going to be DJ Wanham. Pat Jones, I have no doubt, but right now the way the depth chart is stretching out, Jones is backing up Wanham. I could see that changing, even though I think Nick Scorton is a huge beast of a player, but I'm kind of concerned with the numbers aspect of it. I would love to see Pat Jones and Wanham opposite until Scorton has scratched the surface. Because I think when you look at Pat Jones' 7 sacks last season, and then you look at Wanham's 7 sacks the previous year before he became a Panther, and you add the fact that this defensive front is going to be able to get push, it doesn't matter how far those tackles push Wanham and Jones up the field. What goes up must come down. And if these quarterbacks don't have anywhere to run away from and escape to, just look at the Super Bowl. If these quarterbacks have nothing to step up into, these edges are eventually going to collapse on you. So with that being said, I honestly think when you look at what Dan Morgan and company were able to do as far as bringing in Bobby Brown, Tershawn Wharton, and then let's not forget A'Shawn Robinson was pretty dang good last season with no Derek Brown and really not much of a pass rush. And then you draft Cam Jackson, whom I expect to see at least 15 to 16 plays. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I've said the whole edge room, but I'm going to narrow it down to 2 guys. Pat Jones and DJ Wanham. I expect them to get close to double digits this year, barring health.
You fucking idiot.
Stupid.
That's what I'm expecting. So, just to review, I'm actually choosing Pat Jones and DJ Wanham to be the most underrated Panthers of 2025. If you get in review, on the offensive side, I'm looking at Mitchell Evans, Tommy Tremble, and JT Sanders to be the most underrated Panthers of 2025. Let me know who you think is going to be the most underrated Panthers of 2025. Leave your name in the comments as well as leave who you believe are going to be the most underrated Panthers of 2025 down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show so that you can catch up with all of the shows that I'm going to be doing and that you can catch my shorts and my major updates that you may see. Also, go to the Facebook page, Growling and Prowling, and join the group Growling and Prowling so you can catch up with updates and surprises that I will be caught up in, as well as going to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo so you can see what little shenanigans I will be involved in. But that's going to wrap us up here this time. Till we meet again, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.